he's an outstanding player too, so they'll be able to obviously, keep pushing him along. And with, Miles Jack kind of leading the charge on defense, I think they have some great players, mix of good, veteran guys with the younger guys. Offensively, obviously we talked about the running back, like you said, with Robinson, but, even Shark, who's only a third-year guy out of LSU. And then, Chenault, I think, is phenomenal. I think this guy is going to be a big problem in more they start to game plan with him and put him in different situations. So, good mix of young guys playing and, veteran leadership. And I think they're just trying to put it all together, which, they're just a dangerous team from that standpoint because they're very, very explosive. And that's one thing that we got to do a good job of making sure, those explosive plays don't happen.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike Rothstein.
Hey, Matt. On Monday, both you and your coaches all seem to really talk a lot about the lack of consistency. I'm wondering why 2.25 years in, the consistency just hasn't ever really been there.
I think the bye week's a great time for us to really look at the things that have happened over the first part of this season. And, I think that's one thing that certainly when, the results aren't what you want them to be, that's, one of the factors that goes into that. So we're working hard to try to make sure that there is consistency. I do think that happens, through the course of the year, especially with team and change and different guys on the field, different coaches, just building that, those relationships and through the course of, through the year of making sure that consistency takes place. So, right now it's for us, it's about, being consistent against Jacksonville, making sure that we go out today and we have a good practice and we have a good day and put that into another good day tomorrow and hopefully play well on Sunday.
So you just said obviously that you spent the bye week trying to look at those things. What did you find as reasons why that inconsistency has been there?
I think, from our first 4 games, taking a look at the bye week, there's certainly some things that we saw that we need to improve on that hopefully we'll get better at. I would say, for the most part, I would say, trying to just maybe do a little bit less overall would be good and try to get our guys to be able to play faster out on the field. That's certainly something I think we can do and then build as we go forward. So definitely some stuff in there that I thought that was really good for us.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
Let's go, Dave.
Hey, Matt. Hope you're doing well. You talked a little bit about James Robinson the other day. He's obviously an undrafted rookie, leads them in rushing. You've got Adrian, who you signed right before the start of the season, who leads you in rushing. The perception, I think, is that running backs are comparatively, and I stress the word comparatively, easy to find. It's easy to find contributors at the position, at least in the NFL. Do you subscribe to that theory and why or why not?
That's a good question. I don't know if I'm going to wrap any players into that theory or just talk about it in general,
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah, I think, from that standpoint, I think all the way across the board, you can find players, hopefully, that maybe come out of, different situations. And just like I said, maybe on Monday, when they get into the NFL, something happens and the light bulb comes on and they play really well, whether it's the running back position, the corner position, all the way across the board. I think that's what's so unique about the NFL is that, college is great and whatever everybody did in college is perfect. But I was also around a phenomenal, offensive guard that I had the pleasure to coach that never played college football. He was a college wrestler and, it just took some time and he developed and was a good guard. So from that aspect of it, I think everyone just makes the most of their opportunities. And when they do, if they can break through, then I think it's great.
Well, just to kind of follow up on that, how has your thinking changed maybe as an organization here or even before with the drafting of running backs? You guys have obviously taken one in the second round, 2 of your 3 years here. So how has your the thinking changed with regards to drafting that position over the course of your career?
Yeah. I don't want to really get into too much of the draft philosophy and kind of, I think all the drafts are a little bit unique based on what happens, where you pick, who picks before you, what the depth of the positions are that are available, things like that. So probably just stick to Jacksonville right now.
All right. Well, then the last question I had was just, you get Dahl back on the practice field today. When he comes back off IR, when he's ready to play in games, what do you do with him? What do you do with Vaitai? Maybe it's a nice, dilemma to have, but it looks like you got a little bit of depth on the offensive line. So.
Yeah, I think it's great for us to have our guys healthy, and get back out there and compete. So certainly, Joe's been working really hard to get back on the field, and he's got to get out there and practice and kind of get back into the swing of things. But we know how good of a guard he is, and we know how good of a player he is for us. But it's great to have great players. Certainly from that standpoint, I think all those guys out there, they go compete whenever they have to. Certainly, Ode Ibushi went out and started for us and did a high job. Kenny Wiggins has started for us before. So I think all those guys, when called upon, they go out, they give us everything they've got. I think it's just great to get guys back healthy. I think you just always want your team as healthy as possible and create as much competition as possible. So certainly from that standpoint, Joe adds that competition certainly to the O-line.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Chris?
Hey, Matt. I just wanted to follow up on Chenault a little bit there. He was kind of, his tape from Colorado is kind of wild, just the number of ways that they used him. I guess I know he's not the first, sort of multi-dimensional receiver to hit the NFL, but do you see that position trending in that direction at all, just in general, as colleges are getting more wide open and spreading the field? Do you think we'll see more guys like that come into the league?
I do think there are some guys like that do have that kind of crossover. I really do. I think, Coach Marone's done obviously a great job of utilizing him with Coach Gruden and putting him into some different packages that have allowed him to be successful. And I think it just obviously puts a tremendous amount of stress on the defense to try to figure out exactly what player is he? Is he a wide receiver? Is he a running back? Is he a gadget guy? He can play wildcat quarterback. So you spend a lot of time defensively trying to figure that out. And I think that, there are a number of teams that have been doing that for a while and have guys in different positions. And sometimes some of those trends catch on. And when you have one of those guys and maybe you see another opponent do things like that and you say, hey, we have that guy, we can put the stress on a defense like that. Let's invest in it. I think they've done a great job of investing in him. I think one of the things about him that, I also see on tape with the run game and all the different things he does, I think he's getting to become a better route runner. Some of the over routes and things that he does, some of his nuances with his head sticks and some of the body language that he gives to be able to create separation. I've seen that get better through the course of the year.
I guess not specific to him, but sort of with him in mind. And I'm pretty sure we've asked you this at some point too, but how often when you're watching tape on teams, do you see stuff that maybe you pull and say, all right, we could do that with a couple of our guys?
Yeah, I think overall, in general, I say this all the time, it's a copycat league. So I would say that there's stuff every week that you see on tape that you say, hey, we do that, or we have a version of that. That was good. Or, hey, that's really good. It fits into our package or our personnel. Let's investigate that. Or you see something that's really good and you're just like, we don't have that type of guy, but you definitely look at all that stuff and say, hey, if it's successful or it's giving other teams problems, you try to definitely see if you can do that too.
All right, Tim, last question.
Hey, Matt, thanks for taking the time. You guys are starting the practice window with Dahl and Ford and Scarborough. Just curious, are any of those guys potentially ready by Sunday?
Obviously, we haven't even hit the practice field yet, so we got to see where they're at. I know they've been working really hard, so we're excited to get them back out there and, put them in some situations, see how it goes. I would say with that overall, you still always want to be safe, with return to player guys, especially in, contact sports where they haven't had that maybe repetitive contact or any of those situations yet, and just kind of get through practice, take it day by day and see what it looks like.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, great. All right.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.